Are you tired of hearing mental health from a superficial view and you want to hear about realistic views? Well, you come to the right place. A space where healing is central, but also normalized. Your hosts, Danica and Myra, who are in the mental health field, will explore topics that help promote healing in your everyday life. Through our podcast, you will get the real and the work to focus on your healing. Welcome.
Hopefully it's a perfect match though, right?
Uh, my name is Danica, and I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. I moved to San Diego in 2015 for marriage and family therapy at San Diego State University. Whoop, whoop. And then I graduated in 2017. I stayed in San Diego up until February 2019, where I then moved to Inglewood, California, where Myra's from. So yeah, that's a little bit about us. So we want to talk about two different perspectives of how we met. We've never ever talked about this.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go first. So I think I met Myra through it was a program called, I think, AMFT, African American Mentor Program. Okay, that's probably wrong. But anyway, that's what I think we met through. And so it was a professor by the name of Tanika Green. And she had like this meeting where you could like apply for funds. It was through a scholarship that I believe Myra applied for and got us. So obviously, being a grad student, I was broke. I want all the free money. Give it to me. I went to it. I applied, and then I got it, and we went on a trip to a conference in Ohio, Daytona, I believe. It was Daytona, Ohio, and then my bad. Daytona. It was in Florida. Okay. It was Florida. Wait, Daytona, Florida?
Daytona Beach, Florida.
Oh my goodness. Wow. It was nothing there, y'all. That's why I don't even remember. It was nothing there. But we went, it was 4 of us. And that's where me and Myra became friends. You know, she was cool and I really appreciated her. We went to, a matter of fact, me and her by ourselves, we went to a museum. And that's when I realized, like, okay, I like her. She does different things. You know, when people out of town, they only want to party. We did that too. So, Myra, how do you think we met?
That's the exact same story I was going to have.
Whatever.
There's no difference.
You should have went first.
That same story. But y'all want to know something that's funny, though? So I will always tell her these stories about, like, Inglewood and where I'm from. And she just up and moved there. Like, what? That's crazy.
It is.
Since my story is the same, I think we should move on and just talk about like why we feel like this platform is needed. And I feel like this platform is needed just because originally she has started the Black Women's Healing Circle with Dr. Ashe at San Diego State University. When was that? 4 years ago? 3 years ago?
It was in 2018.
Okay.
Wait.
That doesn't make sense.
I know. Okay, 2017. Wait. What's this year? No, it was. Oh no, my bad. It was 2016.
Okay. So anyway.
Because I graduated in 2015. My first year in the program, I was working at the Women's Resource Center.
Got it.
And then the second year we started it. So it had to be 2016.
Okay. So she started the Black Women's Healing Circle with Dr. Ashe, as she said, some years ago, because I'm not going to remember the date. And so as time went on, I eventually ended up becoming the lead facilitator of Black Women's Healing Circle. And I had this dream of kind of making it evolve into something much bigger, whether it be in a community setting or even something like this as a podcast. And so I reached out to Danica and we were able to make that happen, as you see now. But I feel like this is something that's needed just because we can have these circles once a month as we were having, but it's important to reach people on a much broader level across the world. And although we're still going to have circles and things like that, it's going to continue at SDSU when we want to bring it to other communities. how about those gaps in between when people are still needing to make that connection as far as their healing? Because I feel like healing happens outside of different spaces and in different spaces. So that's why we're needing it. And our target audience is pretty much just anyone, specifically women of color. But we say Black women's healing just because we are two Black women. And you probably noticed that we don't use the E in the women just because we don't want to have that connection to men. That's me personally. And a lot of other people I've heard like agree with that too. You want to add something?
Yeah, I think that, for sure we want to shout out to Dr. Ashe, Africana Studies professor at San Diego State University, because, that's how Black Women's Healing Circle got started. And so, because of her and other Black women and other Black students on the campus, we was able to create a space that we didn't, we knew it was needed, but to actually see it happen, it was just touching. And so we have to keep it going. I know for me, now being a practicing marriage and family therapist for the last 2 years, I've worked in community mental health, and I think that a lot of times just basic mental health wellness or mental wellness is not talked about. So, when you think about mental health, I think immediately people think about, oh, you have to have this diagnosis. It has to be depression. You have to be literally can't move out of your bed. When it's like, no, we all have some type of concerns every day of our life. That's just a part of life. And so I think it's important to understand mental health, mental wellness. That's the term I like, of on like a spectrum of that you're going to deal with different types of concerns for the rest of your life. And that's why we want to normalize it. And so this space is to talk about both the mental health concerns that are more serious, but also those day-to-days, because those are important as well. And so that's why I for sure wanted this space to happen. I do want to point out that, Myra, she's the one who brought this to me, because I kept telling her, I'm always like, I want to do something. I want something that's my own. I'm always wanting to create. And she hit me up and was like, hey, you want to do this Black Women's Healing Pod? And I was like, yes, absolutely. And it's one of those things that like, it fell into my lap. I didn't even know this is what I needed, but it is, and we here.
Yes. So I think what makes us a little bit different is there's a lot of different pods out there that talk about, mental health and things like that. But what'll be different about us is we'll have homework, and we're also going to do that same homework, and we're going to ask that you all are engaged with us. And we're going to engage outside of our platforms, outside of the comments, outside of the emails, whereas you'll see that we'll host events and things like that. And we're going to start at a local level, but we hope to go nationwide eventually, because we are both on the track to become licensed therapists. And so we'll be able to utilize that across the board and connect with other therapists and connect with other Black women. You want to add something else to that?
No, we just wanted to be as interactive as possible. Like, it's important to not only talk about stuff, but we got to do the work, y'all. And it's not, when we say homework, it's not like a class. Obviously, you're not going to get in trouble if you don't do your homework, but it's just to put some stuff in practice. Like I said, we can talk about it all day, but to actually put it into practice, that's when you know if you're really growing and if you're really healing, as we want to say, right? So yeah, be involved, y'all.
Yeah, and we hope to be as transparent as we hope that you all will be, as far as some things that we might be struggling with in our healing, are things that we might be noticing that we need to work on for our healing. And we hope to cater topics around that, both around our healing and you all's healing too. And we just want y'all to be just as involved as you can. Like she said, like, our homework is not going to be, oh, did you do this homework or not? But it'll more so be, this is something we're doing for you all to show up and do. So the homework is based on how far you want to go in your healing and what that might look like for you. And when I mention us being transparent, we also want to point out like how important it is just to be yourself. And I know that originally when I presented about this podcast, I said that I want people to know, like, I'm going to be myself. I do curse sometimes. I'm not like a sailor or anything, but I feel like for us to get a message across, it needs to be coming from me being genuine and me being open and transparent. And so, yeah. definitely.
Yeah. And us being real, we hope that helps you all to feel more comfortable with us. We are real people, therapists, mental health workers, psychologists, psychiatrists, nurse practitioners. Shout out to all the mental health care workers. We are real people. And so we want y'all to see that, and we want y'all to feel comfortable.
So what does it mean for you to be yourself?
You said, what does it mean for me to be myself?
Yes.
Okay. For me to be myself, I think it means for me to be able to speak freely, to be respected and to give respect, and to be transparent.
It's like a 50-50 thing where it's like, okay, this is different. Like, I've gotten that from so many different people. And in my head, I'm just like, I've kind of adapted that. Like, maybe I am ratchet and maybe I am intelligent at the same time. But at the end of the day, like, I'm fine with that. And at the end of the day, I'm also always going to get my point across. What'd you say?
I was about to ask that. Do you like that about yourself?
Originally, I was like, ugh, I don't want to be called that. But then once I started noticing, like, that's how I, like, adapted to people. Like, as far as now, like, I have these degrees and I've gone on and reached all these accolades. When I go back home to what would be, quote unquote, the hood, like, I relate to those people so easily just because I kind of never changed who I was. And I'm not saying, like, those are people who I would consider ratchet, but I've held on to, like, the things I've learned from growing up in the hood. I mean, and so being able to hold on to that and being able to hold on to when I go into a professional realm, I'm easily able to navigate both of the two, but integrating both of them has been so important for me because it's like, I'm going to speak for my people, but in this other context. And then when I go home to speak with people in my community, I'm bringing them something new. So I kind of figured out how to juggle it. At first I was like, this is so weird, but now, like, I'm used to it.
Yeah, I think that's such a powerful thing. Like, basically, you being yourself helps you navigate many spaces.
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. So another component of our podcast that we were thinking about was we're going to have random scenarios. We're going to share about books, movies, and songs, and also like discounts, because who doesn't want a good discount on something? I mean, it might be something self-care related, or it might just be like, hey, there's this cool discount that y'all might want to check out, or even like this new coupon or something. And as we mentioned, like, we're always going to have some type of takeaway strategies, and we'll also share those strategies on our Instagram. Make sure you're following us. It's BWH_pod, where we'll keep y'all updated all the time. And is there anything else we need to add? Topics.
Oh my goodness. Right. So topics. We already have a long list of topics that keeps growing every day because of life. But we want y'all to be involved in picking the topics as well, or being able to, collaborate. So, on our social media page, make sure that you following, so you can comment and so you can, suggest different topics that y'all want to hear about, because this pod is for y'all as well as us. So, yeah, we'll have a range of different topics. It won't just be, I think I mentioned just in our little introduction video, like generational patterns. That's something that, we're starting to hear about more, and it's very valid. But we also want to get into some some ratchet stuff, right? So we hearing about this city girl summer, high girl summer, city girls, act up, period pool, all of that. So we want to be able to talk about that stuff too, because that is a reality for us. Instagram, and we talking about Amazon Prime healing, which is something that a friend told me about. Pretty much people having this thought that you get to be healed in whatever amount of time that you think. So you all hear, oh, I'm not gonna talk to this person for 3 days and I'll feel better. What? Where do we get this from, y'all? Like, who says that we get healed and feel better in 3 days? Like, and if that is something for you, how did you come up with that? Because I would like to know. I'm interested. So we want to talk about all those types of good things, and we want to encourage you all to tune in with us.
Definitely. Thank you for tuning into today's podcast. Be sure to drop a comment on any of our platforms or even shoot us an email. We will be back next Monday. Make sure to tell a friend and tell a friend. That is it for today's Black Women's Healing Pod.